Welcome to the crushed grape, home of the San Luis Obispo basket. Making them for 29 years, sending smiles across the miles. We're going to show you how to make one today. So let's go make a basket. Today we're going to show you how to make a big slow basket, very popular here in San Luis, filled with all kinds of products from our county as well as a nice Cabernet. This is Selena, our head designer here at the Crushed Grape, and she's going to show you the steps. Go ahead, Selena, what do we do first?
So first you want to choose a basket that is going to fit all your products, and if you don't know what size basket, you can quickly put all your things in here, make sure it'll set up so everything fits. Step one. That's good. Then you always want to look at your basket, since these are hand woven, to see if there's anything pokey that's going to rip through your cellophane. That's good to go. Next step is tissuing the basket. So these come as pretty big sheets. So I'm going to cut it into 4 parts. So you want to do a messy cut so you can tell which sides you cut. And with the crisp edges, we're going to put it on the basket. Kind of at an angle, so it should look like this. And then your next sheet is going to mirror that side. So it should be like this. Always tilt it up and make sure you're even. Tape the corners down so they don't move. And then once you have it inside your basket, you want to crinkle it up against the wall so when you put products in, it's not pushing your tissue in. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So that's the first stage of tissuing it. It should look like this. Grab a second color, and you're going to do the same cut into 4 pieces, and then 2 of these pieces are going to be extra. I'll save those for later. And then this is going to be the middle piece. And always tilt it up, don't leave it flat because you can't really tell if it's even or not, if it's flat like that. Bring it to eye level.
Selena, it looks like you've made a few of these baskets before.
Made a few of these. I've been doing this for about 4 years. There's definitely a learning curve. Okay. So this is what your tissue should look like. And you can do a bunch of varieties however you want your tissue to look. You can layer it up to use a bunch of colors if you want. So this is a simple way to do it. And then our next step is stuffing the basket. So we like to use peanuts because it's a flexible product and it holds lots of weight really well. So for big baskets that have like a lot of glass, a lot of bottles of wine, beer, other kinds of products, it's not going to sink once you build it up. And then we put what we call racket in. Some people call it self-care. And this stuff is really great at just holding the products where they should be. So for a non-handle basket like this, you want to build it up so the back is a little bit bigger than the front. And always just kind of play with it, get it nice and loose, and then pack it down. So it should look like this. Something like that. And I always start with the middle and then build out. So my first step is the wine. You want to get your biggest, heaviest product in there first. And that's going to go just aligned with the middle there. And it should lay back just a little bit. And then I'm going to get all the glass stuff. Get our jam, a little olive oil. And then anything that's going to go on the bottom, I'll start building up. Just take it layer by layer. Since we have a store, some things have price tags on them. You want to double check, make sure those are off. So all of the flat items I leave out and I put those in at the very, very end. So for big things, you want to dig just a big hole where it's going to go. And I'm pretty much just sticking my fingers in and doing this to separate it.
Can we see that little movement again?
Stick fingers in.
Very important for a good quality basket.
Yes. So you're going to have a hole like this. And that's where my chip is going to go. So if you build little holes, like little nests where all your products go, they will stay there. So that's the back so far. You can see I'm building up the front. And then these two tiny little things I'm going to wait to put in. So at this point, it's pretty messy looking, so I'm going to trim it up. It should look like this, all nice and neat. You will make a big mess. Keep the trash nearby. Just trying to clean your station. So the next part is putting decorative tissue in, which we call sizzle. And you have all different colors. If you want to mix colors, just kind of do this and it all mixes together really nicely. That out so you can see it. And then I usually roll this to do long skinny slices, and I ball it to do little tiny areas. So you're just going to go around your products and fill in the spaces. For the wine, lift it up and kind of make sure it shows. That's pretty much for all the products in the front. Just lift them over, tuck it in. So the biggest area is this back part. A lot of times I'll put product facing the other way, but for this one I like it facing forward. And then just sizzle from the top and kind of let it fall. That covers a large area. Okay, so now it's pretty rough looking. Sometimes we like this look, but not for this one. I'm going to trim it up and make it look nice and clean. Okay. Next, I'll put in any little products that don't take up a lot of space. Okay, then we like to decorate it with fun stuff. So we put beads on it, coins. These are chocolate covered coins, and you can just put them in any of the free little spaces that you see. So that is set up and ready to be celebrated. So for this one, We have different sizes of cello. I'm using a short cello for this basket. Roll it down so it rolls away from you. And you want a good amount of excess on the bottom here. And then you're going to place your basket on top. And then measure it, hold this up, see if you have enough. I have a little bit too much, so I'm going to slide my basket towards me. And just measure it from where you're going to actually tie it, which is right there, so this is perfect. Take the back side, roll it up. It should be about the same. And then to cut this, you want to do one little snip with your scissors, and then it's this kind of motion. So it's just like rolling through the C's, and it should just slide off. And then you want to grab your sides, and then see if these are even on the sides. So just adjust and make sure it's the same length. And we got what we call curling ribbon. It's going to go in my mouth for a minute.
We want Cal.
And then you gather the top part, and you bring it back up, and gather that. So what I'm doing is gathering it right where the line is, so that's going to hold it really well. So once you're grabbing it, use your hand as a clamp that releases any clutches. So just pull this tight. You just want to make sure all this gets nice and tight. Once you got it, put it on your mouth and around the cello. And then I always use my mouth to tie it because I wasn't born with 3 hands. So you do a basic knot, just cross over, hold one side in your mouth and tighten. Should be nice and tight, and then go ahead and do a second knot. You can use your fingers, just hold it while you're doing your second knot. So it should be nice and tight. It should look like this. The side should be billowing out. And then we're going to trim the top. So I just grab one side and kind of just feed it into my hand like this. And get the other side. Do the same thing. So you want this to look nice and straight. Go ahead and give it a chop with one hand. Make sure you cut all the way through it, because if you knot it, it's going to look all weird. But if you do have to do that, it's easy to adjust it. Just give it a haircut. Okay, so now at this point, I still have all my tall skinny stuff that needs to go in. So if you have a lot of skinny stuff, you can go ahead and close it, then stuff it in. So this one, go ahead and stuff it in, and then so I'm putting that stuff in there. And then to close the side, you grab the very far corner. Actually, that was good. And just start rolling it in, and it should be a twisting motion. So just roll it off your fingers, like you're rolling off a piece of tape or something. And once you got it there, put a tape on it. And you can do that in several spots. And the other side. For me, it's kind of a weird angle, but here, I'm going to show you the back one. I like to stay consistent when I roll. I always roll towards the back. Hold your product, and then you can still stick in stuff off the top. Okay, so this should be your final product besides the bow. So we're going to do the bow next. I am going to trim these just so they're even. But what basket makers really need is a little bit of sugar.
All right, so Anna, how about some Paso almond brittle?
I would love some Paso.
Made here in our county, our most popular product.
This stuff is super good, and it Keeps you peppy while you're making baskets. Okay. So for your bow, you can use as many colors as you want. I'm using 2 today. Ribbon has a shiny side and a dull side. And you can tell by how it comes off of the roll there, which side is which. So you want to be looking at the shiny side. So both of these should be on the table in the same direction. And you want shiny side up. So layer them together. And roll some ribbon. And then you want to grab it in your hands. And then fold it over on itself. And then fold it again on itself. So it should look like this. And then you can measure it on your basket to see how big you want it. This is much too big. So it's easy to adjust once you have it there. So this is maybe a little too small. That's perfect. Okay, so then I start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10. So with 2 colors, 10 loops on each side is plenty. Then you want to cut your tails so you got some room, so those are going to come dangle off your basket later. So once you have it like this, you're going to fold it on itself. And then this is going to be the most important part. So you'll see that I'm going to cut it in a triangle. So just go ahead and cut that right angle off. Flip it over. If you're right-handed or left-handed, use your dominant hand. And then you're going to cut the same direction. Right angle. And there should be just a little piece left in the middle. So go ahead and get some curling ribbon. Cut that. You don't need a huge piece, probably about 2 feet long or so. And then tie it on. Just go ahead and put it, your thumb there. Flip it over. Tie it. Again, I use my mouth. Just for that first one. And then tie it again. Double knot. So it should look like this. Okay, so you want to make sure shiny side is up. So you got to bend it down. And you're going to tie it on your basket. These little arms just reach around your cello. Turn it around. Tie a double knot. Curl your ends. You can curl with the sharp part of your scissors or the dull, either way works. You want to trim this part by folding it in half and snipping down. That gives it nice ends. Curl these. And then you start fanning your bow. So grab one side and then bring it down and give it a little twist. And that's okay if that happens. Trim it off, nobody will ever know.
We know.
Yes, you know. That's okay. You can't tell when it's done.
No.
And it's going to look distorted while you're doing it, but that is fine. So for this bottom one, I pull it up just like I did the top, and you just keep pulling down. Yep, and there's another one. You can tell in those spots like it's a little too thin, but that is okay. So you get something that looks like that. And then you just want to play with it, fan out the sides. And then you want to separate these two. And there's your finished basket. And then you can always add another bead on it. You can either do it like this. Sometimes I like to just put it on the bow.
All right, that is gorgeous. Woo-hoo!